Welcome. I'm Alternative Function, and I'm bringing you today an Earth Machines deck profile, but one like you've never seen before. The first and only Tier 0 Earth Machines deck list. Alrighty then, this is the magical deck list that will skyrocket Earth Machines into the meta. You may be noticing a scarce few Earth Machines are actually in this deck profile. Well, that is because during the theory crafting process of building a big bungus beatdown ruinforce deck, I realized the greatest limitation to a strategy like that was bricking on draw cards, discard cards, and the plethora of unsummonable level 8 plus machine monsters that usually go with a strategy like this. It got me thinking about the best way to get graveyard advantage for ruinforce special summons, and how to minimize these kind of decks' propensity to pass turn on essentially nothing. And so, as you'll see later in the video, the deck has evolved from a somewhat atypical ruinforce beatdown deck to this masterpiece, the definitive Ishmek version 0.8. Starting off this deck list, we are running, of course, 3 ruinforce, the most important card in this strategy. Our Earth Machine package comes in the form of 3 Machina Citadel, 3 Machina Fortress, 3 Machina Metacontra, and 1 Super Express Bullet Train. This card is a one-of, mostly because of its hard once per turn on the graveyard effect, and also it's very rare to have an opportunity to activate its special summon effect and go into Dora, Libe, etc. But it has come up once or twice during testing. We are also running 2 Regulus. This card is really good for much similar reasons to Express Bullet Train. It is a high level for a Ruinforce Banish, and if you outright draw it, then it is quite good in the grind game. Then we are running our Ishizu Tearalments package. We have 3 Shirin, 3 Harvness, 3 Merly, and 1 Rhino Heart for the tier portion of this. And then we have 3 Agido, 3 Kelback for our Ishizu portion. I've also just begun to test the 2 Paralino field spells, as it appears to allow the deck an extra layer of protection against bricking, and the exchange of spirits is more or less a remnant of version 0.5 of this deck, but I still find milling it on the first tier effect creates crazy advantage for Ruinforce. You go from having maybe 1 Ruinforce special summon on turn 2 to having 3. It's an unreal card to mill, but again, it is a massive garnet. For the last of our monsters, we have, of course, 3 Drytron Meteonis Draconids. Don't have to say much else, it's a necessary garnet, much like how I feel about Exchange of the Spirit. For the spells, I have 1 card Destruction. It's a great card to draw off the top. Opening first turn creates insane advantage if you brick on everything else. Otherwise, it's not a garnet, it'll never be a garnet, but it doesn't really come up too much, but it's good when it does. We are also, of course, running 2 machinery deployment. Great to get a Ruinforce and a Fortress in hand. All round good card. Moving on from the main deck, however, the extra deck has been quite tricky. The deck generates such an impressive amount of on-field advantage that I've had to stack the extra deck with generic links so that a 6-card board can be reduced down for the Ruinforce OTK. So for our Tearalments, we are running 3 Kaleido Heart, 3 Kit Chaos, and 1 Rouge Chaos. We also have the standard Earth Machines XYZ trains, 1 Lieb, 1 Dora, 1 Gustav Max. It is the current meta, so we are obviously running 1 Abyss Dweller as well. And for the aforementioned Link monsters, we have 1 Dark, 1 Donifer Horror. I think this card is a sleeper hit, and its pop effect has come up multiple times. I find it very useful in the Ruinforce Banish cycle to pop any annoying cards that can't be destroyed by battle, and generate more graveyard advantage, just by the nature of it being a Link monster. We are also playing 1 Proxy F Magician, and the 2002 greatest waifu of all time, Witch Apprentice. And this is the full deck list. I will put a timestamp on the screen now to show you where to go to see this deck in action, but without further ado, here is the development process of this masterpiece of a deck. In the first 0.2 edition of this deck, I ran a much bigger Earth Machines package. I obviously had the tunnelers, the infinite track tunnelers, and the Orsa in here, and a lot more draw cards. Through the testing, I kind of realized that this deck is just far too slow, and it's far too bricky. You know, in the original testing, I'm playing against bots. I mean, you'll see soon. I'm playing against bots who summon a 400 attack monster and pass turn, and I'm bricking, and I'm losing. There was one game I bricked so bad that I lost 8,000 life points to summon Kozaki pass. It was unreal how bad this original edition is. But when it worked, it was gorgeous. In trying to edit the 0.2 version to be less bricky, I looked at what the deck really needed. That was more graveyard advantage, an easier way to get ruinforce on the field. And what better deck to model this ruinforce OTK mill strategy off of than Tearalments and Ishizu, the best milling cards that have ever been printed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I don't really understand how those cards work, so I still lost quite a few games in the 0.5 testing phase. However, the rate of bricking dropped significantly once I added all these cards in, and it looked really good when the combo got pulled off. It looked gorgeous. After heaps and heaps of testing, I finally realized Orsa has an Earthlock, which not only prevents my Tier Element package from activating, it also prevents my Ruinforce, who is the sole purpose of the OTK deck I'm trying to create. Additionally, the Pot of Prosperities are negating the Dark World and card distractions, and even the odd die Gusto, so they also had to go. Which brings us to iteration 0.7, which saw the addition of even more Tier Element monsters. And it was around this time it began to occur to me that I'm just backwards creating a Tearalment deck and trying to force Ruinforce into it. However, this went extremely well, and despite me not still fully understanding the Tearalment's cards, I managed to click yes to victory on the first try, and then on my second, and then my third, and for the next 10 to 15 games, I had only bricked twice. I won with the Machina engine pure 3 times and was carried to victory by Ruinforce Tears the rest. And by now it was time to stop playing against Cloudians, Moki Moki and Trickstars and try something with a bit more power. And all this brings us back here to the 0.8 edition. It still needs some work because I can't keep losing to Winder, Mystic Mine, etc. There are still a few decks that just hard counter it, and there are too many decks in the meta that hard counter this deck. But the Tearalment matchup is very funny. The Fluunderies matchup is very annoying. And the Branded Despia matchup is just dreadful. But the deck performs, and as far as a rogue deck goes, I mean, it's got to be the highest tier for a rogue deck. It would push meta. Realistically, I think this, all jokes aside from the rest of the video, I think this is a good deck. I think this is a playable, janky deck. I think if you were to take this to locals, you would finish top 4. It's that good. 0.8 version, I'll let you see how it plays out for yourself. If you like the video so far, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it all, and have a good one.